And welcome back once again to its last call. Last call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel. Joining me here, well, this young lady, she's gonna be starting of a new show, Vampire Academy, dropping on Thursday, September 15th. It's gonna be on the NBC Peacock Channel. And while a lot of people are talking about it, there's vampires, there's fight scenes, political drama, unrest, romance, and all that. But this young lady here, well, she's taken a lot of different roads from college student to charity work, even going all the way at mental health advocate. Now, basically becoming an actress, based to Google hard work, sweat, and just knocking on doors. We're proud to have on the show here. I give you bilingual, multi-talented, and the breaking out star soon. I'm guaranteeing it here. I give you Jonetta Kaiser. Jonetta, so let's start off with the big question. So, what your character in Vampire Academy? We have two young ladies who are the you know sort of protagonists here. We have other vampires. Where do you fit in, and how much do you enjoy the fact that it's like from reading on other interviews, they've given you a backstory. It's like they've looked at you and okay, you know what? We're giving her more lines. We're giving you more character. We want to have Jonetta Kaiser as somebody we're going to feature big on this show.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good question. Where does Sonia Karp fit in? Because she really doesn't. And that's kind of like her whole journey that you get to see played out in the first, in the 10 episodes that we have. And I am just, it's such a fun character playing Sonia. And she's just always alone. Like that's kind of the thing. And she falls in love, goes in this journey that you'll see play out. I can't say much about it. Book readers know what I'm talking about, but we'll see what happens in the actual show.
Now, in the movie, Claire Foy, you play the same character Claire Foy does. So
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
I know. So I was guessing, was there any intimidation? Like, oh crap, Claire Foy's not big name here. She's a major rising star. So was there ever like a worry of like people going, hey, wait a minute, you're not Claire Foy, the character we see from Claire Foy. How dare you? Like, how tough is that when you're following the footsteps of somebody who they gave life to that character and they're a big name?
You know what? There, the pressure, I think, I don't feel pressure. And I think it's because I just, one, this is so different from the movie, what we're doing. It just feels completely different. And then Claire Foy, like, she was so great as Sonia Karp, even though she's hardly in the movie. Like, just the bits that you get to see of her, she brought so much to it, and so it just makes sense that her career has just continued to just be a success. um but yeah, I think it's just so cool. I kind of hope people don't be like, well, I'm like, I hope they don't compare us, because I'm like, I don't know if I could do what she does. So I'm like, but it's so cool to be like, oh my god, Claire Foy also played that role. That's so cool. And now I'm playing the same role but different. Like, it's just a cool thing.
Now, you basically your character has a sister on the show, which is played by it's Mia Carper, who's played by Mia McKenna-Bruce.
Yeah.
It's weird. Usually, the old, we have a veteran, person, or a person a little more older, and you are just a bit older than her. Usually, giving her experience, showing her the ropes and all that. How weird is it, when she's younger than you age wise by a little bit, and yet
Yeah.
she's the veteran. She's been doing this since like 2008. She's been on The Witcher. She's been in like Last Train of Christmas, Persuasion. You're going, oh wow,
Yeah. You know what? When
like
I
a diaper. What the hell am I? Can I get a sports
No,
name? Oh my
exactly,
god.
exactly. And then also the J. August Richards, who's playing my dad as well, has been working for 20 plus years. And I felt so lucky for those two people to be my scene partners. And because again, I go back to Sonia Karp is kind of a loner. So when she wasn't alone, she was with her family. And I learned so much working with those two. They're such professionals, but also can bring, it's not like they're not, and nothing against actors that are, everyone has a process. But I found that I work better with people who just enjoy the the craft and can play and have fun on the day. So when they show up, they know their lines, they know their character. We've blocked out the scene, we know what we're doing. And in between action and cut, that's work. But between cut and action, we are just having the best time. Like I I enjoy being around those two so much. I just and it was a little intimidating at first because I was like, wow, they're they worked a lot. But I think it just helped me, honestly. At the end of the day, I just here, I'm here as a student. I'm a student of life always. So like I try not to like look at something and be like, that's gonna freak me out. I'm like, okay, maybe there's something I can learn here.
Well, I was gonna say with J. August Richards, like how weird was it with when you're working with him? It's like, oh crap. I remember watching him when I was on my bedroom, an Angel, or oh crap. I remember when I'm doing my college thesis, and oh yeah, you have your own action figure, the Agents of Shields, or oh crap. I remember you from like Raising the Bar. I mean, he's one of those people who you look and you go, he's done it all. He's been on,
Yeah.
the major shows. He's been in, the Marvel universe. He's been in all that. I know every actor says, "Oh, we're professionals. We're supposed to be that." But when you're with a guy like that, how much do you try to get, like 5-10 minutes a day? Just go, "Hey, what can I learn? What can you teach me? What's going on?" Because he's seen more right now than you have. So how tough was it for you trying to be professional and yet at the same time going, "I just want to pick your brain. Tell me how to get to this next step. How to get to that step. How to get into these all these different genres because." You want to be where he is, at his age. You want to all of a sudden, I'm guessing after this do,
Yeah.
hey, Marvel, DC, and all that. How tough is that? Being like cool, confident at the same time, you're just like a duck in water, going legs of 1,000 miles per minute.
Yeah, it feels that way, right? Like again, I go back to like I'm just so lucky and I'm so blessed to just be in the same room as these people. But the thing about Jay Augustin, we were just talking about this yesterday. He's a teacher, and so you ask him a question, he immediately, and not in a way to where he's just like, I know everything. He genuinely like just wants to share his knowledge and he's so good at explaining it in a way that makes it tangible. And it's like, okay, that's like step one, step two, step three, which is the way my brain works. And so he's so good at explaining things. And he said that I think one of his nieces said that he should have been a teacher because he's so good at just teaching and explaining things to people. So like I think he enjoys, I won't speak for him for sure, but I think he actually enjoys being asked things that he can then explain and teach and just share the knowledge, share the wealth, basically. Like he's such an amazing human
Let's talk more about you because your
being.
story is a fascinating one. Yeah, because it is. Is like most people I talk to, whether they're fighters, whether they're actresses or singers, this was they were going to do this at an early age, and they've been doing this for their entire career.
Hmm.
You didn't. You grew up. You wanted to be an actress. You get diagnosed with scoliosis, and then you
Yes.
started going to college. You went to college for biochemistry, and then then you got into the acting world. Then you went to LA. But you've been a mental health advocate. You've done. I'm looking just at the link profile, and it's like you've done charity work. You've done gone all
Yeah.
over the place in terms of helping people. Like how much did that help you with all this, and that like a lot of these actors and actors, and even the eye fighters who don't get real life, you can go, I understand what life is like. I have suffered. I've had to overcome this. Had to come overcome that. This has not been easy. So for you to get to this point, how much has life helped in terms of like, okay, I got bad news on the scoliosis. Oh, I gotta keep on walking. I've gotten bad news on this. I gotta keep walking. Well, I've seen what other people are going through. I gotta keep on just trucking. And you learn to basically be that the P word that everybody talks about, but a lot of people aren't a professional.
Yeah. Yeah. I It's such a crazy thing because it's you have to be willing to accept that what's happening to you, whether good or bad, um, it's something that you can learn from one day, even if it seems impossible to. um, and I think that that's, for whatever reason, something that I've always had. I was like, okay, there's a lesson in this. And just from a very young age, I've always known that. I was like, I always knew I was going to be an actress. I had no idea how I was going to get there. Had no idea I was going to get diagnosed with scoliosis. And when I did, I gave up, but there was still something in me that was like, you're just you're just taking a detour. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, there were some things I had to learn. I could not have moved out to LA at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old because I wouldn't have had the stamina. The Like, you have to be very strong to just move out on your own to LA and I want to become an actor, because most people do, and then it doesn't work out, or you like become like very discouraged. And so, like, what life taught me up to this point: one, I learned how to survive and make money for myself because I grew up very poor. And one of the reasons I obviously couldn't have moved out before 18 years old is because I couldn't afford to. So that was just out of the question. But I worked in a restaurant. I learned how to bartend. I learned how to talk to people. And because I have terrible stage fright, so being front and center at a bar, being the head bartender, that taught me stage presence, oddly enough, because just being on a stage in general, I would just get the jitters. And I remember doing a play in high school, and I don't even remember doing it because I either just completely blacked out, like mentally, and was not there, or I actually passed out on stage and like didn't finish the play. I literally can't remember. Don't know what happened. So I think all of those things. And then when I was just in Louisiana, I knew that I wanted to be like, I forgot. It's almost like I kind of like lost my way a little bit when I was like, okay, well, I can't be an actress because I have scoliosis, so I'm just gonna go to school. And my dad told me to do STEM, so I went for biochemistry. And I was like, okay, it's like B average there, here and there. And and I love math and science. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, I could see myself making a living out of this, maybe, but or doing this for a living. But through all of that, I was like, okay, I need to be doing something that is providing, like, is just servicing other people. So I started doing charity work. And there were, we have hurricanes that come through Louisiana all the time. So there was never a lack of volunteer work. Our Daily Bread was one of the organizations I did where they give out food. It's a food bank. And my family has gone there to get food before during a hurricane, when there's no power or anything. They have non-perishables, so it's such an amazing thing what they're doing there. And then there's the American Red Cross. They do cleanup. You can go and gut houses. So we went into elderly homes where their house is completely flooded, and they just had a lot of stuff. And she, like, one lady in particular, was she was just on her own. She was like in her 80s, and we just went in and just got all of the stuff out of her house that she'd collected over the years and ripped up her flooring. And yeah, so things like that. And I think those things in the hard moments where I felt like I didn't know where I was going and I maybe wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I think becoming a person of service and providing acts of service for people helped me get through those hard moments. And then when I got back to, I found my way and was just like literally woke up one day and was like, what do I want to do? Why am I unhappy? Oh, I've always wanted to be an actress. Oh, why aren't you doing that? Because you couldn't afford it. Well, how do you afford it? Oh, well, you're a bartender now. Go to LA, get a job at a bar, and work, and you'll be able to afford it. You'll figure it out. Did not work out so easy for the first like 2 or 3 years. It was really hard, but I got through it, and I think all of those like trials and errors and then the mental battle that I still am working through with like the scoliosis and like just not, don't let anything stop you is what I'm like starting to learn, and then building strength. So I think that first part of my like younger when I was a teenager was building up my mental health so that I could withstand things that would come at me. And now that I've like I think I've built a solid like mental foundation, and I still do work every day on that, as you do, because you never, I think that's something that you just never stop working on, like working out. I've now started, okay, now I need to be physically strong as well. Because I think one of the things about scoliosis is that you don't use a lot of the muscles in your body. You overuse like half and you underuse the other half. So now I'm going in twice a week and I'm working with a personal trainer to just go in and just activate those muscles. And it's hard work. And if I hadn't have had the mental preparation years ago and up to this point, I think I would just give up and be like, I can't do this because it's hard and it's painful even. But yeah, that's kind of like the arc of like here I am today now, and I'm working through it and hopefully getting better.
These two questions I have to let you go because we're pressed for time, of course. But
Yeah.
you with the scoliosis, and you also are very you advocate for sexual abuse, for human trafficking. You in this show alone, I've seen some of the pictures, and you look absolutely beautiful. It's a lot of skin. It's you're wearing dresses, you're wearing, you're showing the V-neck, the back. How tough was that for you when you started doing this? And like everybody's very conscious of their body. Am I showing too much? Am I being too sexual? Do I look ugly? Do I look fat? Do I look too skinny? And this isn't just actresses. This is people in general.
Yeah.
You're just now having to deal with that with cameras, with photos, and going, oh crap, there's gonna be a million people at least watching this here. Okay, now maybe I need a turtleneck sweater here, folks. Turtleneck sweater is perfect here. How tough was that for you, though? Going, okay, I'm not gonna think about this now. Wear these outfits. They look good. Damn it, I am peacocking here because damn it, I look good. Not worry about the little voices, the little whispers that everybody has of, ooh, okay, ooh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
look.
no, definitely. I think I'm so lucky in my career. You're yourself. There's an essence of you in everything that you do, every character that you play. But I'm ultimately playing a character, and my character doesn't have scoliosis. So when I'm in the moment and I'm in those scenes, I that's not, it's like Jonetta's kind of here, but my character and her storyline is who I'm serving now, and that's what matters. So it's like I just kind of forget about my own insecurities. I it's the weirdest thing how I'm able to kind of separate the two, but I immediately, like when they call cut, I'm like Jonetta again, and there's even like um one of the cast assistants like got photos of me just kind of just doing like as Jonetta, I'm awkward and I'm like standing and I'm like doing things like this with my arms for like whatever reason, like in between cuts. And then when they call action, I'm back as my character and standing how she would stand, and her demeanor and her thoughts. And I do the work before I get to set to make sure that I hopefully am never becoming Jonetta and like what and you know, I want to play a character and I want people to I want to serve the story that she is and who she is and not be like, oh, she's only gonna walk sideways because she doesn't want to show her back to the camera. That you know, I don't want to be that person. So and I'm also just again like fortunate to where my scoliosis isn't super visible when I am fully clothed. I don't know if like you can see it maybe if my back is out, but I've been told by people it's not very noticeable. But you know, everything in your own mind is always magnified. But when I'm acting and I'm playing a character, I the Janetta's insecurities and thoughts and things like that are kind of pushed to the side, and everything becomes about the work and the work that I've put in, the thoughts that I've put there, so that I'm very just in the moment in the scene, and that's what's going on.
What time is it finding sort of
Oh,
what you are as an actress? Because let's face it, this is an industry where they shape you to what they want, whether it's hey, all of a sudden we want you to do more roles where you're playing more of a slutty person, or hey, we want more skin. Hey, we want more attitude. There are stereotypes. You know, you're in your all and every actor I talk to, no matter if they're white, black, Asian, straight, gay,
yeah. Mhm.
conservative, they're always trying to, go, no, we are an actor, we can do everything. How tough is that for you when you're starting out? And maybe it's not, I'm guessing it's not on Peacock. They've done a great job. And Vampire Diaries, I've seen from what the clips makes you look good, but how tough is it for you putting your feet down sometimes going, no, I'm not going to take this role. It's too stereotypical. No, I'm not going to just take this role. And look like a bimbo here. How tough is it holding your ground and, being confident when this is a business of 1,000 cuts? They can just break you down in different ways. And all of a sudden you find yourself doing the same kind of roles that you wouldn't do because it's the money, it's the paycheck. It's,
Yeah.
all right, I'm on a big
Mhm.
network and you lose who you are.
Um, I think it just varies person to person. Um, and I can never say never, obviously, but in I would always hope that I would stay true to myself in everything that I do, whether that's professionally or just me hanging out with my friends. And um, I, if I don't want to do something, then I should feel comfortable telling my team, my agent, my manager, who they're absolutely amazing, and they you know they'll hear me out, they'll listen to me, and if I don't want to do something, they're like, okay, let's pass. And I just passed on doing an audition for something. I was just like, I'm not in love with this. You know, I don't see why. I just don't love this. And um, they were like, okay, yeah, we agree. Let's pass. But you know, it's like um, I don't know. Like it just it always varies. You never know. Like maybe it's something that I don't necessarily love, but it's something that maybe I don't love it because I'm afraid of it. And in which case, taking on a role that actually challenges me and makes me grow as an actor. And then it's maybe just, you know, so that I think that's also like that just comes with having a really good team behind you and just and believing like when you have your like, oh, I don't know about this. Let's talk it out and see what they think about it. And then if we have a general consensus that we're not going to do it, then we'll not do it. If but if they're like, I really think that this is a great opportunity for you, blah blah blah, then maybe that's just Janetta being afraid of taking on something that's going to challenge me a little bit. I don't know. I think it just varies case to case and person to person. I do know that some people have been put in situations where they've been felt forced or to do certain things, and that's really heartbreaking. And but I haven't personally experienced that, and I think it's because my team is just so great, and I'm grateful for that.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, September 15th, it's the Vampire Academy. It's going to be launching on the Peacock Network. And well, we are proud to have one of, I'm calling it the breakout stars. She plays Sonia Carp, but she's going to be delivering here on the show. I give you the
Thank you.
talented, the intellectual, the spiritual. I give you Jonetta Kaiser. Jeanette, before I let you go, so where can fans check you out at? Where is your Twitter page, Instagram, website? Like, where can fans connect to you at?
Yes, I'm every social media platform besides Facebook. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It's at Jonetta Kaiser. So just my first name and my last name. I'm not super active, but I'm on there.
Hey, as long as you're on there, it's all that matters. So, Jonetta Kaiser, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always an honor and a pleasure having on the show. We come back. Stay tuned for more great action coming up only on Last Call. Last Call without the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.